feel like Fozzie Bear, and it's Dr. Erica hopping in really quickly just to do a little quality time on a Thursday. Hello, if you don't know me, I am Dr. Erica, Harvard-trained, double board-certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I'm on a mission to help women feel seen, valued, and whole on their own terms, but it doesn't matter your gender today. I'm just here to help you get through all of this crazy with your sanity intact. Hopping on just for a few minutes. We're going to get in and get out, but I wanted to do a little quality time because yesterday I just needed to take a little bit of time for myself. I'm trying to take the advice I'm giving you and do it myself. So I just knew I needed some rest. So I had to take yesterday as a rest day. But I'm just going to tell you about a few things I learned this week. So as you come in, let me know how you're doing. Next thing, housekeeping tips. If you know anybody that needs this, please tag them. Also, if you know anybody that needs this, share. Sharing is caring. The other thing is, guess what? If you're watching it later, put hashtag replay in the comments. It is okay. I'm just happy you're here. So let's go ahead and get started. So you know how sometimes we talk about things to help you get through the stress of what happens during the week, and a lot of what happens when it comes to having positive energy or positive thoughts is to not sweat stuff as it happens. That if you get really tied up in it, sometimes it sets a tone that the rest of your day will be filled with all of that negativity. So one day I started off, and if you don't know, now you know, not rapping though, that I typically take everything and its mama with me to work. And a while ago, I spilled 2 drinks on my laptop, so the end key doesn't work. So I have a wireless keyboard and a wireless trackpad that I use with it. Now, I don't know if you can see, Apple loves to use glass, and it makes things so pretty and so smooth. And you almost get lulled to sleep because some of their items, you drop them a few times and nothing happens. Well, I dropped this trackpad, as you see, cracks missing at the top. Right there, that's a good angle. And I saw it fall to the ground in slow motion. And now I feel like that old Verizon commercial where you're trying not to cut yourself. So I had to try to just use the very bottom because up here is shattered glass. Thanks, Apple. So, but I decided I was not going to be held down by my janky trackpad. I was going to find a way to use it and at some point order another one. Have not ordered another one, but I was like, I'm not going to let my week be jacked up by this janky trackpad. So the first thing is if you hit a bump in the road, especially if it's a little bump, for me, nobody died. This isn't a huge crisis. It's not like there's not a trackpad on my computer. This makes it much more convenient because it's all in a line, but I can live. And sometimes you have to go straight. I think his name is Ken Young, where on the wedding, what was it? It wasn't bachelor party. It wasn't wedding. What was that with Joy? You can help me. That movie with tigers like cinnamon, or tigers hate cinnamon. Where they're in Las Vegas, that I can't remember the name of it, but he asked, "Did you die?" Sometimes nobody died, so there's nothing to. So trackpad, I can survive. But the lesson out of this is sometimes things are not as huge as we want to make them. And you ask yourself simply, did you die? Did somebody die? If the answer is no, a lot of times we can still make it. Might be inconvenient, but we can still make it. The next thing is I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about the fact that, and this happens for a lot of fields, but especially for doctors, that you're on this path. Someone tells you this path. At some point you decide you want to be a doctor. And then there's this huge path that is already laid out for you. You know, you've got to finish college. You need to go to med school. You need to do residency. And then you get a job. And even though now we're a lot more creative about what those jobs are, especially when I trained, there are only a handful of jobs people even talked about. It's like you had a private practice, you were an academic, or you worked in a hospital. That's what you do. So there wasn't a lot of space for thinking about things creatively, or even be in a space where you're not sure what you want to do. People didn't talk about it. You didn't have conversation with people like, well, what do you want to do? I don't know what you want to do. It's because you had this path laid out. And the one thing I want to say to all of you out there is it's okay if you don't know exactly where you're going. I know I talk about visualization and that's some great stuff, but I don't want you to beat up yourself if you're not sure exactly what endpoint you want. Or if it's a situation where you know where you want to end up, but you don't quite know how to get there, it's okay if you don't know. That's part of the fun of the journey, is figuring out the plan. Sometimes you don't know the plan, you just know where you're going. And especially start listening to a lot of this stuff about visualization. And even if you watch The Secret, they talk about visualize what you want. You don't have to know the steps. And sometimes you don't even know exactly where you want to go. You do your best guess what you think you want. And that may change. Or it may be something that what you want today or what your goal is today, a week later you decide something else. It is okay to change. But I want you to feel comfortable that there's not just one way to live or do things. There's not just one path. There's not one journey. So I want to release you from comparing yourself to everyone, because everyone's journey is not the same. And I also want to let you know that if you're not quite sure where you're going, it's okay. Think about what you want or what you think you want or what's the closest thing. Or if you can't necessarily think of where you want to ultimately be, but you're like, well, this is something I want in the meantime, it's fine. But cut yourself some slack. The more you practice and the more you give yourself permission to dream big, the easier it's going to be to start figuring out what you want and what you want to go, and to become laser focused with your visualization and your action. But sometimes it's simple action when you start. Something as simple as getting up early in the morning and doing a miracle morning, or visualizing or meditating or having intentional quiet time. And you may not know the whole path, but you start there. A lot of times I know they talk about this quote that Martin Luther King talks about, and I'm going to probably jack it up, where he's like, you don't have to know or see the whole staircase. You just have to take one stair at a time. I'm probably messing it up. But the thing is you just have to take one step at a time, one move at a time, one action at a time. So a lot of times the important thing is the action itself. And then you make it to the next action. But the one thing is, most of us don't get anything if we don't have any action. There's nothing happens. So I want to encourage you to have action. The other thing is, I want to encourage you to be fearless. Be fearless with dreaming. And it's okay if you don't know your whole vision. You just start with what you have and move forward. It'll come into focus. The last thing is, don't let something small. Can you see my cracks? There, you see my cracks. There are my cracks. Don't let something small derail you and take you off the path to your happiness, success, and joy and peace. Don't do it. Don't let little bumps in the road or medium bumps in the road steal your joy. Hold on to your joy. You deserve your joy. Hold on to that suck white knuckle your joy, because you deserve it. So that's what I got. I wasn't trying to be in here forever. I figured I'd tell you about a few things that happened to me this week. The other things, my allergies been acting up. So, doing my best to hold them together, because, you start having allergy issues and you're like, no, my allergy drainage is from my allergies. I don't have COVID, But it's important for us just to give yourself grace. The more grace we give, it will decrease your stress. The amount of judgment we give on ourselves is unbelievable sometimes. And with that amount of judgment, it's no mystery that we would all be stressed out. So let's not be stressed out. Let's not be stressed out together. Can we do that? I feel like we need to have the Not Stressed Out Club t-shirt. Maybe I should do that next. But I just want to hop in really quickly and say hello. The next thing is, again, if you know anybody that needs us, tag them. You can also share. The other thing is, if you're watching it later, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just put hashtag replay in the comments. As I always remind you, if you or anybody you know needs a mental health checkup, just to be checked out, feels kind of not like yourself, or just needs a little bit of help, you can schedule a free consultation at askdrgoodwin.com, askdrgoodwin.com. Right now I'm focusing on the states I'm already licensed in, which is Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee, Texas, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and California. I think I named them all. And I'm still focusing on 18 and over. So that's what I got for you. You have your usual prescription. Make sure you call at least one person and tell them that you love them. You got this. Remember, be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Give yourself grace. Decrease your own stress. Don't stress yourself out judging yourself. That's what I got. So have a great night and take care. Thanks for watching.